Yeah, baby. It's the Will Rain Show with the best producer in the business, sitting at the talk radio producer's desk, Johnny Royal. I can't do it like Jim, our announcer, though. The voice of doom, Johnny Royal.
Johnny Royal.
Trouble up there in the Windy City. Rahm Emanuel has his hands full. They have roaming bands of youth, they're calling them, roaming bands of youth, going around. And did you see, Johnny, you're into new gadgetry and stuff. Did you see how the media is trying to promote these as flash mobs? No, come on. Flash mobs were some like post-20th century homosexuals dancing at a plaza at a mall or something, doing a kind of a group dance.
Right.
And God bless them. Let them do that and have fun. This is far from the concept, as I know it, of flash mob. This is like flash mob violence. It's a whole different thing. But apparently, one criminale, he picked the wrong person. Now, if you're gonna die, if you choose a life of crime, one of the what would you say? The
know your mark.
One of the know your mark. That's an old poker term, isn't it?
That's right.
See there? See, you can tell this guy plays Texas Hold'em. Know your mark. What's the old saying? If you don't know who the mark is sitting at the table.
If you don't know who the patsy is at the table, it's
you're
you.
Right. Anyway, this kid decides he's going to embark on a life of crime. It probably wasn't his first night out, his first night at the dance, but an off-duty Chicago police officer comes out of an activity or event where he was entertaining dressed as a clown. All right? He's dressed as a clown. So at 10 p.m., he walks out onto the streets of Chicago dressed as a clown. And a teen approaches and says, "Yo, Clowny, how about some money?" And then pulls a gun out on the guy. Now, not knowing the clown's day job is a police officer in Chicago.
Who's always on duty.
Right. Apparently, though, he may not have had his backup weapon in his clown pocket because he wrestled the gun away from the kid and shot him to death. Yeah. Shot him to death. Now, I know that somebody's mother's crying. That was somebody's mother's baby. But you know, you're a scumbag if you go up to people, pull a gun on them, and demand their money. You're a scumbag. There's no way around. I don't care if you're poor. And my father was poor, picked up pieces of coal on the railroad tracks to heat his mother's house during the Great Depression. He didn't pull a gun on anybody, though. I don't want to hear you're poor or something like that. But talk about divine retribution. Pulls a gun on a clown and dies. We'll be getting some liberal email. You're cold, man. He needed the money. No, you don't get money like that. There are other ways. Nobody in this country has to starve. You can be hungry for a few days, but there's soup kitchens. There's Catholic Charities, and other fine groups. There are food banks where you can eat. There's no need to pull a gun on anybody just yet.
Churches.
Your relatives. It's rare that you've fallen so far that you can't get a 1 square meal a day, even if you've fallen on rough times. But that's I know we're gonna get called. So that's mean, man. The clown killed the boy. The boy asked for it. Was no boy. How old does it say? How old he was?
No, this article doesn't have his age.
I think in one story I read he was 19. So it's not yet a man, but not quite a boy. Certainly enough of a man to have known better than to pull a gun on somebody. But that's what's going on there. I tell you, when I become dictator, as I plan, there's going to be some changes made. I'm driving the other day, and a guy cuts ahead, so I let him go. one of these little crap mobiles. I won't mention the brand, but there's 2 or 3 foreign brands where these guys put spoilers on the back.
Oh, right.
Like, oh, what is your 150 horsepower car going to go too fast? So I think a spoiler kicks in, if I'm not correct, 180 miles an hour, I believe. You got to be going before you'll get that kind of an effect with a rear spoiler.
Well, it depends on how light the car is and everything to
Right.
keep the rear wheels down.
But
Right,
let me
right.
just say, as a friend, with your 150 horsepower crap mobile, you won't be approaching those speeds. Okay. And then to add insult to injury, okay, the guy thinks he's a race car driver because he has a racing car steering wheel. I saw him at the next light. I just looked over. I didn't ask for trouble. I just wanted to know who the clown was. Speaking of clowns. And as he pulls away, with that crap muffler, they got years ago, didn't you get pulled over if you had a noisy muffler?
Right, it can't be above so many decibels.
Well, what happened to that law?
I have absolutely no idea.
Now that I'm an old bastard, I'm just going to call in and complain.
Yeah, they're dropping glass packs out and everything in.
I
and
used to
you're
have
kidding me.
on my fine machine, I had some Thrush mufflers, which
Right.
were very nice. And then I had cutouts where you could actually just dump the whole thing if you wanted to be really loud. They had your little cutout thing. Remember the GTOs had an under the hood,
Oh, yeah.
under the dash knob you could pull?
Yep.
You young guys don't know what cars really were. Them muscle cars?
muscle
They
cars.
were nice. I remember a friend of mine, Don, we were working in one of the big department stores in New York. He says, he had just come back from Vietnam. He says, let's go to lunch. I'll drive. So I didn't know he had got a new car. I go out there, brand new Roadrunner.
Oh,
He had used his severance pay from the military, I guess, that cash he had saved, and takes it out, and very impressive. It was the 383,
oh,
quite
nice.
fast. So Don, it's brand new. Don jumps on it. We're going up a hill. My heart went like up in my throat
Oh, right.
because he's in the right-hand lane. There's traffic. He's going uphill in New York, and a guy maybe 100 feet ahead decides he's going to get out on the driver's side into traffic. We missed the door by about 5 inches. I almost wet myself. That's how close it was. But what acceleration on that old Chrysler 383.
I used to have a
Very
350.
nice.
I used to have a 354 barrel quadrajet Camaro.
There you go.
You'll be going 50 miles an hour.
Oh, an old bow tie man. Eh?
You stomp on it.
Yeah.
You get thrown back in the seat.
Yep.
Really nice.
Tremendous acceleration. So don't, my whole point being, enjoy your car, but if you think your 150 horsepower crapmobile is like the old Camaro SS350, you ought to have your head examined. You don't know what acceleration is, my friend.
Too much Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it's too much. You've been watching too much of Fast and Furious.
Yep.
You've been gaming too much, my friend. You've been gaming too much. But when I become dictator, I'm telling you, it's those guys with the crap cars with the trumpet exhaust. They're just annoying, and the crotch rockets. I'm going to take care of these guys too. They got the little Italian motorcycle, crap wagon. It's a crap wagon, I'm telling you. You guys, when you, and they always got to do it as they're passing you. It's like your hair stands on end. And I think that's the point. You know what? Why do you have to make noise like that? When I'm dictator, I will be calling for flogging for people like you. Yeah? Yeah, your mommy and daddy are going to see you tied in front of City Hall, and we're going to take good care of you. I think a sociologist makes a good point. He said, since we've given up flogging, here's off the top of my head, and I believe this is a correct, Johnny will look it up. The last time a prisoner was flogged in the United States, 1951, Maryland. See if I'm correct. I believe that's the last time corporal punishment was inflicted by law in these here United States. But when I come back as dictator, we'll see a lot more of that. I'm going back to flogging. We need corporal punishment in this country. You know why? People figure there's no big deal. I get a little fine. There's another clown who throws out same place every day when I pass. When he's done with his, I won't mention the restaurant because it's not their fault. It's famous fast food restaurant. When he's done with lunch, the bag and cups go right out the window.
Ow!
So we got some for him too.
Ow!
I'd flog that guy myself. You want to throw junk around? Why don't you wait till you get to your house? Throw it in your driveway. If you want to live like a pig, throw it in your own driveway.
Exactly. This is what I've been saying. Exactly. Turn it.
Yes!
Why do other people have to enjoy your crap? Did you find that flogging, 1951?
1952 in Delaware was the last state to use
52
it.
Delaware, I was close.
Yep.
1952 in Delaware.
That was the last state to use flogging.
And since then, the liberals have said, oh, you can't do that. That's a human being. No, that's somebody who broke the law. If it was good enough for the British Navy, it's good enough for you.
And Britain, 1958
Britain in 1958.
was the last. They said it was rare, but 1958.
Well, more recently, remember that kid they caught, this is a few years ago, but I think you'll remember the case, a British boy in Singapore, didn't
Yep.
he put graffiti on a wall or
Yep.
on a car,
Yep.
and he was caned.
Right. International incident.
Yeah. That's, have you ever seen caning?
Yes.
The guy doesn't just stand there and whip you. He takes a running start. The guy goes, whack. After you get 3 or 5 strokes like that, your days of littering and stuff like that are over.
Exactly. This is what I've been saying. Exactly. Turn it.
Yes!
We'll have more humanitarian commentary coming up next on The Will Rain Show.
Hiya.
This portion of The Will Rain Show is brought to you by Martha's Budget Boutique, where Martha's pantyhose are always half off.